Welcome to Dropped In, CL and Chantal. I am so excited for today's conversation. You two are my absolute favorites. Thank you for making my business great again. Thank you for making sales pages great again. And thank you for allowing me to trust mentorship again. I'm so grateful to have you here today in the space, but I'm so grateful to have you in my life, in my business, and also just to show what integrity looks like in this world of business. So thank you for being here. I am just so excited for today's conversation. I would love for you to share who you are, what you do, and why you're obsessed with what you do, because I know you are obsessed, and that's what makes your work so magical.
Yeah, Chantal, do you want to kick it off?
Okay, hi. I'm Chantal Bossy. My last name really defines how I can be sometimes. My mother-in-law has a sign. It says, I'm not bossy, I'm just helpful. And I think that's how I am, but I probably come across very bossy because I am so passionate and obsessed with what we do. Especially as women in business, we can be overlooked so easily. When we were tech people, I feel like people were trying to mansplain stuff to us all the time. And so you just have to stand with a force to be like, no, I know what I'm talking about. And so I think that's why I'm so passionate about things, especially with helping women and just people in general in business, because when people are deciding to start a business and put themselves out there, they're really putting a lot of their time, their own personal resources, and really trusting in themselves. And when they're looking at you for support, they're translating that trust into you. And I don't take that job lightly. I think I'm obsessed with it because what I've learned over the years is that businesses can look and be so different, just like bodies all look and are so different. They're all bodies, they're all amazing, and they're all beautiful. I think the cool thing is that like I'm just so passionate at seeing people succeed and how it feels good for them and not trying to shove a one size fits all approach in their face.
Boom. Mic drop right there.
Okay, cool. I'm done. I'm gonna go. Um, that's it.
How about you, CL? Let's hear it from you. Yes, I love watching CL while Chantel's talking because it's kind of like I feel like CL's like, what's she gonna say?
Always.
No, that's my life. That's my entire life. Now, yeah, me, I feel like I'm the big picture visionary thinker out of the two of us. I see where we want to go. What we're really about is helping people enroll hundreds of people in their digital offers, whether that's coaching, courses, whether you're evergreen or launching. For me, it's about enrolling those people, but for me, it's about giving women, although we do work with men as well, the opportunity to create their own level of freedom, the opportunity to ditch their job if they want to and build a life that is truly aligned for them. And so while we're known for helping people enroll tons of people, for me, it's about so much more than that. It's about giving people back their freedom to choose who they live with, where they live, all of these types of things. And I think that putting wealth like that through enrolling people in digital products into people's hands has the capacity to change absolutely everything. That's where my obsession with it comes from. I'm definitely the more polished version of the two of us. I say that with so much love, but I'm sitting here like, oh, we enroll hundreds. I'm very on brand and on message. And Chantal is just very grounded in the day to day and makes things funny and approachable. And so I think the two of us work really funnily together in that way. Yeah.
I know. I'm like listening to her. I'm like, yeah, she's right. That is what we do. I didn't hit a single one of those notes. Jesus Christ. Thank God I'm not pitching us to a company right now because I would have failed that completely.
I love it. And I love the pun that you shared, CL. Mix and mingle the two of them because literally you guys are like so good at all the things you do, specifically funnels. I know where we're going, but I also want to stop for one moment because I've invested in a lot of mentorship throughout my years of business. And it's like You guys just know how to break it all down. You're in my mind and you know me so well that you are able to articulate my offer better than I can myself. How do you do that? I had a beautiful conversation with CL yesterday to work through my inner pharmacy playbook. I just want this in the hands of hundreds, like every single day. I know it's happening. But the language I use is so out there that we need to bring it back down here. You both do it so incredibly well, where it's like a no-brainer for people to invest in your offers, but also to support your clients and having people invest in our offers. So how do you do it?
For me, it's time in. Everything comes into reps, it comes into time in. I've been in sales and marketing, specifically social media marketing. I have degrees in graphic design, marketing, messaging, social media management, public relations. I'm trained in this and I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've always worked one-on-one with companies and corporations, Dole Foods, Tabasco sauce. That's where I really had my footing, which is why I think I tend to lean more on the corporate side of the language or the perspective. Whereas for me, and Chantal also has a business degree, she has tons of legwork in sales, but she did that very differently. She did that on the bar floor, getting to know people, having conversations with people. That allows her to connect with people at a certain level. For me, it's honestly a lot of time in, a lot of trying, a lot of shit that didn't work, a lot of like flopped course launches of my own, a lot of being in the back end of big businesses that I felt like I had no business being back there and making magic happen and being like, oh, I have something here. And I think that's where it comes from for me personally.
You can have all the training in the world, and you might agree with me, Cora-Lynn. None of that really prepared me for what we do. I think my time in has been life lived, to be quite honest with you. Some people know and some people don't know, but I'm a recovering addict and I got clean 3 weeks before my 19th birthday. I did years of recovery and Narcotics Anonymous meetings, but I also did years on the streets. You know, talking to people and feeling so disconnected with people. And like when I got clean, I really craved connection with people and loved hearing about people's lives and diving deep. One of the things I've been able to tap into over the years without even realizing it is I can really just hear what people are saying when they're trying to say it, but I can also spot bullshit from a mile away.
You certainly can.
Yeah. When I hear people, I can even read it out of a sales page. I'm like, this is wrong, or this isn't what they're trying to say. And sometimes I just, you trying to say this thing, and they're like, totally, oh my God. Right. I think it's just like time in, like Cora-Lynn said, but I think for me too, I have this knack to be able, like, without tooting my own horn, but I have this knack of just being able to see things for what they truly are.
Mm-hmm. Toot away, girlfriend. I'm all about flexing your chest around here.
Good, I need one.
Like that. She physically toots a lot. So she knows she won't mind me calling her out for that, but that is a gassy girl over there. There's a gassy lady. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. You know what I bought my daughter every time I go to Home Sense, I'll buy her books because they're like really cheap there. There was one, it was called Toot. And I like am so good at making all the toot noises in that book. So
I love it. I love it. Who knew that three business owners would be having a comedy relief session here?
That's what you get when you get Chantal. That's who she is. That's why people love her too, is because she is so real. My face goes beet red anytime the thought of a fart comes up. So like as Chantal does it, she's like announcing it to the world and screaming it out the window as we drive down the road. And that's what's great about her.
100%, 100%. So I love the mix and mingling here around street smarts, because I didn't know that about you, Chantal. So the street smarts and then the book smarts, and what a killer combo that is for your business, but also for the businesses that you support. So I know collaboration from personal experience is not easy at all. I've been in 2 other partnerships before, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'll do a partnership again. However, I've leaned towards that now with what I do with Marcia and now with my sister-in-law. But how do you guys make it work? How long have you been in collaboration with each other for?
We're going on 4 years. This will be our 5th year coming up here this August. 5 years working together. Chantal makes a lot of this work because she can call my bullshit, and she holds me to a standard that I really love and appreciate. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I kind of wear very proudly that I don't invest in mentorship. Chantal is my mentor every single day.
Mm.
And to be able to say that and to give that to her is really important to me, because she does. She mentors me every single day. And I don't think that this partnership would be together if I was the one always leading the charge. She is
Mm.
willing to have uncomfortable conversations. She calls me on my bullshit. And it's like a relationship. And she sees that and knows that and understands that. And she brings that to the table, where I usually hide and shy away from tough conversations. She leans in. The ability for us to work together is honestly more of a testament to her than the two of us personally. But that's my perspective. I think she's the glue that holds this together. And I probably would have ghosted her 80 times by now, and this wouldn't exist. She gives so much more to this than I think so many people realize.
Not a dry eye in the house over here. My eyes are watering and I was like totally flooded with shivers. So, how beautiful to receive that gift, Chantal. And thank you for sharing that, CL.
I feel like I'm at an awards ceremony. That was really nice. Thank you. I won't dismiss any of the things that were said. I received those. Thank you. However, I think you are doing yourself a huge disservice in saying that. Like any good relationship, it's a two-way street. And as much as maybe I lean into more of wanting to have the tough conversations, you're also a willing participant and wanting to do it as well. And we're talking about like it's all hard times. First of all, it's not like
It's not.
85 to 90% of the time, it's not hard times. Those aren't the times that make or break a business, right? There is those difficult, uncomfortable moments that will really define how you not only move through, but move forward. And I think that's really important. I think when it comes to partnerships and relationships, and this is one thing I've always said too, even in a relationship, choose the person that you want to do the work with, because there will always be work involved in any relationship. Choose the person that you not only want to do the work with, but is willing to do the work with you. So it's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cora-Lynn has also done the same for me, which is elevated me and held me to a different standard for many things in business and in life. I think we balance each other out. I think one thing people probably think when they look at us is that we're very similar people, but we are so fucking different to a T, like to a core. Like, I want to start a family. Well, I have started a family, but I've always wanted the family. And I'm really happy with just the monotonous day to day. Cora-Lynn's like, oh my God, kids, great. You're having a baby. I don't want this. I want the bougie fucking life. And I want the bougie fucking things, you know? We're so different, yet we are so similar in so many ways. And I think the beautiful part of that is that we get to highlight those things for one another and share those things with one another while still keeping it very real for each other, for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do this business? Day by day. There are many times where we ask ourselves, is this something you want to keep doing? There's never an expectation. I think it really does come with checking in with each other often. When things feel off, we talk about it. When things are heavy, we talk about it. When things are great, we celebrate. We're very gracious for one another. We make sure to tell each other how much we like love and appreciate each other. We live a 6-minute walk from one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do life business together. And for two people that spend this much time together, I think we do pretty well.
So let's talk about that, because that is a real deal, right? So listeners are like, okay, so you're best friends, you live 6 minutes apart from each other, you're doing business with one another, and I don't care who you are, we navigate the ebbs and flows of business, right? Which when we're blending friendship in there, it can be challenging. So how do you do it? It is not for the faint of heart. It seems from the outside that you both work synergistically together. From what I know, you respect each other profoundly. Of the boundaries between business and friendship, or what does that look like?
I think for us, and one thing that's always been really grounding for me. And something that I think about is like, we are friends first. Like we are friends and best friends first. And we've both said out loud, if for any reason this business no longer works, we still love each other. We're still there for each other and we're still going to do life together. We're still going to cheer each other on, regardless of what each other's business were to look like if that transition or split did happen for whatever reason. And I think for me, knowing that like this is a friendship and a relationship that is not circumstantial on the business and the work we do creates so much more grace in the business and more desire for me to continue to do the work required to stay in partnership. She FaceTimes me when she's showering. I bring the steam mop to her house. She forgets to bring it back. She brings me her Tupperware. I never bring it back. She feeds me, I feed her. It's like taking care of each other as people first before the business. Because like that's the same thing that we believe in business. When you put the client first, the profit always follows. And I think we live by that and breathe by that in our day-to-day relationship of you're not having a good day, fine. Take the whole day. I got the business today. It's cool. You're not having a good day, cool. I got everything today. You go rest, do what you need to do, be with Kaya. Allowing each other that grace is how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we do pretty good. Like, I mean, I had a rough patch when I had the baby, and Cora-Lynn definitely held the boat, right? I think there are many times in our lives where it's going to be back and forth like that, you know? One day Cora-Lynn will have kids and I will have to carry the boat, and I'll be like, you see what I'm talking about? But she doesn't know yet, and she will one day. I'll be glad to repay that favor. I think we do our best to support each other where we currently are and just know that we're human first. You have a sister?
I have chosen sisters.
Like Cora-Lynn will walk into my house, it doesn't matter. She'll just go to the fridge. She's like, I'm hungry.
Right.
You know, I'm hungry. It doesn't matter. I will do the same. Even if her boyfriend's on the couch, I'm like, hey, what's up? I don't consider this your house. I think this is just Cora-Lynn's house, so I'm going to do whatever. We treat each other as people first. Everything's just very intertwined. We will text each other at 7 o'clock at night. Oh my God, I have this idea. Amazing. I can't give you a magic formula because there is no magic formula to this, right? It's like giving someone a magic formula for a relationship or giving someone a magic formula for a funnel. It's going to be very different for everyone, but it's how you decide to approach it and what works best for you is what works best for you. Would this dynamic work for a lot of people? Probably fucking not. I said to Cora-Lynn the other day, I forget what was happening, but she was like, I don't know if she got snappy with me or I got snappy with her. I was like, I really wish sometimes we would record each other so people could see how we sit down together and figure shit out. Cause like, can you explain that a little bit more? It's not making sense. Like, okay, give me a second, you know?
Yeah, that was you being snappy at me, by the way. So
P.S.
it was definitely you. And all of Starbucks heard it, so that was great.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think too, like I do send her ideas at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and she's just learned that like I'm gonna do that, and I don't expect an answer from her. And like we've set, so like, do we have boundaries in place? No, not really. Really, but like we just know that nothing in business is a fire.
Yes.
And we're both free to run with our ideas. So if I got an idea at 9 o'clock at night, I want to run with it. And she'll pop in the morning and check in. That's her MO. It's just a lot of space for each other to be who we are and not expecting anything in return in that way.
Yeah. I love that. I was in the Integrity Mastermind and behind the scenes of what was occurring in your business in real time. I like to call these energy leaks or kinks in the hose, to watch what has occurred as a result from unkinking this hose and sealing these leaks, to witness where your business is going now. I mean, I don't know what it's like behind the scenes, but I'm seeing all this influx of energy and innovations and all the things, right? Like this energetically richness that's exuding out of you. So let's talk about the kinks and hoses of business, because this is a real thing.
Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I think we both look at us, we're like, oh, do we have to go there? We've done so good without it. Yes. You know what? Yeah, it is.
So our entire business model was a kink. I bought into, and it worked. I bought into the one program, one niche, one thing you're known for, one thing forever. Complex is costly. If you sell multiple products, people get confused. I really bought into that. We had one core program, everything revolved around that. We ran it for 4 years straight. And probably about year 3, it started not feeling so good.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a huge energetic kink and leak for us that we admittedly left a little too long, because our entire business revolved around that one program. Like, I'm talking multiple 6 figures in revenue coming in from just one program. And we didn't really have anything else set up. We didn't have any vision or products or launch timelines for anything new that we wanted to do. The only thing we knew was that we didn't want to do that anymore. And when we made that decision, a whole well of energy opened up for the two of us. And I think our brains just started going in like all of these different directions and like playing with the possibilities. Whereas before, for me, I didn't see the possibilities in the business for a while. I was very much like, I don't know how to get out of this. Am I meant to do this? Am I really meant for this? Yes, we 100% are meant for this, but we were meant to evolve. What's hard about kinks in your business is sometimes they feel really good when you start them, and they feel aligned and they feel great, and then they become kinked and we think that's wrong. Mm-hmm. And so we try and hold on to it because it used to work, and why isn't it working now? And like, is something wrong with me? And is my messaging off? And the reality is, no, you've evolved. You're meant to evolve and grow. And these things are no longer in alignment. I think where we get tripped up is in starting something. And I think a lot of people do this, starting something and have it going really well, and then feeling like it's no longer it. And almost like that sunk cost fallacy of like, I put so much time in, I have to hold on, and we try to white knuckle it. And then everything starts sliding out from underneath you. You're being shown what you need to let go of. When you let go, on the other side of that is a well of things. We let go of that product. We let go of our podcast. There's a bunch of things that we let go of. And when we did that, it created space for the business model that we have now and that we're building out, and for the incredible things that are happening in our business. I can't even imagine what this business would look like if we didn't unkink that, if we didn't let that go. It's really hard for me to think about, honestly. Yeah.
I think we were both very depressed.
Yeah.
You know what seasonal depression feels like? And then when you come out of the fog and you're like, oh my God, all I needed was some sunshine. I feel amazing. That's what it felt like. It felt like we came out of the deep, dark pit of like darkness.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And that has nothing to do, like, I know some of our past students listen to this podcast as well. That has nothing to do with the people. I just want the people to know that it has nothing to do with the people. But when your soul is being called for more, sometimes you just have to say goodbye or see you later, or, you know, maybe next time. It was really hard. It was a very crazy thing to navigate. I think one thing that happened to me too is after I had my baby, I had limited time, and the time that I did have spending on the business just didn't, like, it was really noticeable for me then that I'm like, this is not fucking fun anymore. Like, this is not what I want to be doing with my time.
Yeah.
Right. And we asked ourselves, okay, we're getting close to the end of 2024. If this is all we had to do for 2025, all of 2025, is this what we want to do? And that was the question we asked ourselves with everything. Do we want to do this? If we're going to look at this one thing and make the decision, is this something we want to do all of 2025? And if it was an absolute no, we're done. See you later. Bye. It was the best thing ever. Yeah.
For
I feel
real.
so feisty again. You know, I feel like I got my sexual energy back when it comes to business.
Totally. You were both little frisky little kittens.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to watch because it's like, wow. And I can totally relate. For me, Kundalini was this huge kink, and not a kink in a good way. It was like soul sucking. And it came to that where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I also took it overplayed. And as soon as I cut that cord, and sealed that leak, it's just like, holy snap, like influx of clients coming in, like it's wild what happens, right? So energy leaks are legit real. I'm really excited for where this next chapter is taking you both and all that's coming through, because you guys are just like rolling out all these offerings left, right, and center, and they're all just energetically rich, as I say.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. I think the craziest thing is we said, what do we want to do this year? And the answer was, I don't know, but I just want to have fun while we're doing it. I want to make lots of money while we're doing it. I want to live a life while we're doing it. And if anything feels like, ugh, it's just a no.
Yeah.
It's just a no. And I think when we talk about energy leaks too, like the Kundalini thing, when something becomes so ingrained into who you are and how people know you, it really does take on an identity of its own. I remember at my wedding, I eloped in Banff, and instead of inviting people to my wedding, I invited them to the honeymoon part.
That's awesome.
And we were hiking with a bunch of my husband's friends, and Cortland and I were taking a picture on a mountain, and what did they say? Like, oh, design to scale mountains, like even they knew who we were from this program because that's all we talked about. When you thought of us, you thought of that program, right? Like it's what we were known for. And so fucking hard to let that go. It literally does feel like it's such a big piece of you. However, let me tell you, letting go of that piece is like you think you're letting go of so much, but what you're really releasing is so much weight in the best way.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, it's like you can breathe again, right?
Yeah. I think too, we're talking about very large concepts in terms of like what an energetic leak is. And there's so many smaller ones that happen like on a day to day. The number of times I'm like, how are you going to structure your program? Well, I'm going to do a 6-week, 1-hour call per week. And it's like, does that sound fun to you? Does that make you excited to sell this? And people are like, well, no, but I have to do it that way. And I'm like, no, you don't. It doesn't have to be that way. Right. And so I think a lot of the energetic leaks that like, we're talking big picture energetic leaks, but there are so many like small ones on a day to day that we're just doing because we think we should, or that's how it's always been done. Like, well, podcast is required and X number of reels is required. And it's just like, you get to decide. And I think that's like the energy that we really took into this year is like, we get to decide what the rules are. We get to decide what this looks like, what it doesn't look like. Sure, there are industry standards, but we don't want to be an industry standard. I don't want to be the status quo. I don't want to be sitting there like compared to every other coach on the market because I'm not. And we're not, and we never will be. And so for us, it was really about like, yeah, there are big energetic leaks that happen. And when you unkink those, you open up a well of information. But when you start to spot the shoulds, which I find are often those kinks for people, and you can release those, even that gives you so much more energy. That makes your selling easier. That makes showing up easier. That makes delivering easier. It just gives you the time and energy to focus on building a business that you actually want to build, not the one that Sally down the street built, right? Like the one that actually works for you and that you thrive in as a person. And the one size fits all thing, like it really just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
No, it does not at all. And I love that you shared that because I relate to being a disruptor, but I see both of you as industry disruptors, right? Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, I think for me it does.
I've never seen myself that way. However, when I think of industry disrupting, it's more about showing people that they can be who they want to be and show up with who they are. That was one of the things that I thought was really required when I first started my business. I need to be a certain way, look a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way. I just think it's bullshit. I'm in my husband's t-shirts half the time. I don't wear makeup. I don't give a fuck. I say really offside things. I'm really passionate sometimes. I will tell people they have small dick energy, like all of that stuff, right? And so do I think I'm an industry disruptor that way? I think I'm in this country pumpkin that's just like coming out, to show people that you can be whatever and still be successful. However, do I think Cora-Lynn is an industry disruptor? Oh, 1,000,000%. I think she was made for it. Made to be an industry disruptor. I'm just here to ruffle feathers.
I forgot to tell you there's no swearing on our podcast.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Oh, you better be joking. You would need a huge disclaimer at the top of the screen that says no swearing for me to even consciously stop a long line of swearing Irish women. So it's not going to happen.
Oh man, I could be here with you both all day, every day, and I just can't thank you enough for the work that you do. My face hurts after our time together, so thank you for that. I always love to ask how can people work with you? How can they find you? And also pre-party, you were telling me about what's coming through, so let's hear it.
Yeah, so scalingbydesign.com, that will tell you all of the ways that you could potentially work with us. All of our offers are there and they're always available because we love evergreen. So they're always there for you to learn from. Cora-Lynn Hazelwood on Instagram, Chantal Gatien on Instagram.
Gatien.
What's coming down the line? We have a really fun masterclass that we're launching March 26th. That'll be live. If you're listening after this, I'm sure there's an evergreen version available that you can grab. It'll be on that same page, scalingbydesign.com. Yeah, we've got new live programs coming out pretty much every month, every 6 weeks this year. So there's always an opportunity to work with us live and in person in that capacity. And then we also have some cool longer term 6 months to a year masterminds that we're working on. And we also have some in-person events and retreats coming up this year as well. So if you want to get bougie in the Muskokas with us and do some cold plunging and saunaing and messaging work and create some content and have the time of your life while you do it, is hear Chantal toot in real life, that's available as well.
Oh, that's so fun. I love it. I'm here for the toots. Sign me up.
It means our stomach's working. We should all just lean in as ladies. It's doing what it's meant to do.
It certainly is. All right. So before we say goodbye for now, what is a message of hope that you can give individuals? I would love to hear from both of you. For those that want to quit.
Don't stop before the miracle happens. You're most likely making things way harder on yourself than it should be. When things feel really hard, just drop everything and just be. Show up and just be. Stop thinking about the funnels, the this, the that, the whatever. Just share your damn passion, excitement, joy for what you're doing with the world, and tap into that.
If you were meant to be making more money, helping more people, running your business in less time, at this moment you would be. Whatever is meant for you is never going to pass you. Lean into this moment, especially if you're like in the early phases, because there's so many lessons here. And I think we rush through those early phases of business when really that's where the gold is. That's where like you have the most flexibility, the most freedom, the most opportunity in front of you. And I think we try and rush through it. And I think if you can slow down and learn to appreciate the highs and lows, you'll get where you want to go a lot faster, and you'll find the lesson and the reason why you are where you are a lot quicker if you can surrender into it, as opposed to trying to like work your way out of it.
Mm.
Everything is neutral. Everything is neutral.
Yes.
Everything is neutral.
Don't attach your worth to your business. Everything is neutral.
Okay. I love you both so much. You guys are just like the best. I can't wait to meet you in real life for real, because it's been a virtual experience for I don't know how long now, like 3 years, 2 years, something like that. So we both
in the Muskokas.
Yeah. Love you both so much. And thank you again for all you do. I will put how to connect with you in the show notes. And yeah, keep kicking ass. Most people think scaling is about doing more. More strategy, more hours, more effort. Your success isn't about how hard you work. It's about how well your nervous system can hold what you're building. If your body is stuck in survival mode, no strategy in the world will make scaling feel sustainable. You'll stay in this cycle of overthinking, self-sabotaging, pushing harder while getting nowhere. Not because you don't know what to do, but because your system isn't wired to receive what you're working for. That's why I created the Inner Pharmacy Playbook. 143 power pages of real high-level strategy to regulate your nervous system, rewire resistance, and finally step into momentum that sticks. Because you weren't meant to build your empire through exhaustion. You were meant to build it with ease, clarity, and power. And that starts here. Go to the show notes and grab your copy of the Inner Pharmacy Playbook, because the next level of your business is not about grinding harder. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold it all.